Welcome to EchoCast and welcome Kathryn Stewart, Global Chief Product and Technology Officer here at Echo360. Now, for followers of Echo360 and EchoCast, you've likely already met Kathryn, and for anybody else, where have you been? Kathryn is a publishing and edtech and global L&D industry pro with decades of product and technology and marketing and sales and leadership experience on both the client side and the vendor side at blue chip multinational organizations and small startups and everything in between. And she's the brains behind Echo360's ecosystem, the world's first and only learning transformation platform. But you know all of that. So what is she doing here on EchoCast again? Well, this episode is part of a special EchoCast series on the recent inclusion of GoReact, the worldwide leader in video feedback and authentic assessment, into the ecosystem. So it's like she's welcoming a new member into the family here. And we thought it'd be, good idea, who better to talk to about how GoReact fits and what it is poised to do to further enable the learning transformations that leaders like all of you out there are seeking, than the actual architect of the ecosystem itself. So, it's kind of like, it's like talking to Frank Lloyd Wright about the Guggenheim, or Steinway about pianos, maybe. So enough with the metaphors. Welcome back to the big show, Kathryn Stewart. Hey, Kathryn.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you back here. And let's just dive right in here as everyone, if they haven't had a chance to see GoReact in action yet, and in the context of the ecosystem, let's just maybe start with, how does GoReact fit in the overall kind of big picture ecosystem that we've built?
That's a great question, Jeff. And one of the things I like to think about when I think about GoReact is we have our ecosystem, and really GoReact is going to really plug into that expressive muscle of the ecosystem, right? Where it's going to capture the performance side of learning, where students and learners are able to demonstrate not just what they know, but how they are able to communicate, collaborate, and apply. Whether, you're doing something like a nursing student, maybe explaining clinical reasoning, or maybe a future teacher modeling classroom strategy, GoReact enables those folks to show their thinking in action and complements things in our ecosystem, such as Echo Exam and Echo Video perfectly. While all of those tools that we have right now currently measure comprehension and content mastery, GoReact gives us that real-time skills-based window into student and learner readiness, so that forms the full circle of learning and assessment loop in instruction and application, feedback, and growth.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there is it's not a buzzword, but there's a lot out there, and a lot of customers on both the higher ed and the corporate side, if you will, that are really interested in this sort of notion of authentic assessments. And the ecosystem, create, engage, assess. There have been prior assessment capabilities of the ecosystem, but maybe talk about how GoReact in this authentic assessment just adds just another kind of dimension of assessment, because there's like formative assessment with Echo Poll and summative assessment with Echo Exam. Talk about authentic assessment and what that means to the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And authentic assessment, really, it's about asking learners to do the real thing, right? Not just talking about it, but asking and demonstrating. And it really makes learning more meaningful and measurable. So when it's combined with the other products in the ecosystem for the learning transformation platform, what you have is you don't just have these isolated facts or students or learners demonstrating skills on their own. You have the demonstration, you have the real context, and you also have everything that you already gained with the ecosystem. So it makes it really easy for instructors, facilitators, and trainers to evaluate that readiness, and easier for learners to gain confidence.
That's cool. You've also got, in addition to, picking up things like GoReact to bring into the ecosystem, you and the team have a ton of AI developments in the ecosystem, in the AI-powered ecosystem, of which GoReact also brings some kind of novel applications of AI. Talk a little bit about what kind of the AI sort of ingredients are within GoReact, and how that kind of fits with the AI principles that you've set forth for the ecosystem.
Absolutely. And, as folks who have been following us with the ecosystem over the last 14 to 18 months understand, we've been very intentional, methodical, and deliberate about AI across the entire ecosystem and in how we instantiate that, and how we deliver it, and how we work to help enhance workflows instead of actually replacing them. And GoReact is no exception to this. It's really that AI layer that is going to come into the ecosystem and not replace instructors, but support them and enhance them. It really helps spot those repetitive patterns, speeds up common feedback, and offers summaries to guide more targeted coaching. And this layer will be then translated across the ecosystem and bring in even greater and deeper value to our Ask Echo AI and things such as Echo AI Assist.
Cool. I mentioned in your intro, and I was not just throwing just a flimsy flattery out there. I mean, you've got more hats than a milliner, Kathryn. You play so many roles, and whether it's in product or engineering and technology and sales, but you are so, or not, but, and you are so close to our customers throughout all of it. You've got that direct line to hearing what their needs are, when they're happy, when they're sad. What kind of customer feedback are you getting on GoReact and its inclusion into the ecosystem?
We are getting incredibly positive feedback. In fact, I think the number one question we get now on the product calls is about GoReact and how it is going to work with the ecosystem. And, we hear just feedback on, faculty telling us how, they love how intuitive the interface is, right? Gives meaningful, time-coded feedback. We also hear from the corporate space about, wow, this is what we're looking for. We have so many things that test those cognitive skills of our employees, but we don't really have anything that measures those soft skills. Anything that, if we think back to the beginning, demonstrates those soft skills and how those can also be a key component of a successful employee. So I would say that, from a perception of whether it's a 1 or a 10, with 1 being we haven't heard anything and 10 being that it's all over, we're going to level it up to an 11 as, with GoReact, because that's all we hear is how can we be a part of GoReact and how can we bring that to our part of the ecosystem at Echo360.
Very, very appropriate for the anniversary year of Spinal Tap. So appreciate that little pop cultural reference, turning it up to 11. Love it. All right. So finally, I mentioned a little bit of a metaphor there of welcoming GoReact into the family. And so we'll go back to that family thing. And, we like all of our kids equally within GoReact and all of the cool things in GoReact, and try to not think of this as the professional that you are, where you have to appreciate every feature. Everything's equally great. Is there anything within GoReact specifically, like one specific kind of like application or feature, something that you just personally like, that is so cool? Like, I love this part of GoReact.
Well, absolutely. And I think when I think about it and I think about GoReact, and there's an intersection of structure and flexibility, which is really tough to find in a product, right? Very structured when you think about rubrics, but very flexible when you think about the way that the prompts are so natural and open-ended. And to me, that is something that is very difficult to achieve in any product. So when I think about what is super cool, it's like you can have actually your cake and you can eat it too with GoReact. And that's not something you get with most products. So that structure and the flexibility, perfect match, come together. And if, they're able to capture those moments as well as capture progress, and everybody does it and they have fun doing it and they learn and develop as well.
Cool. Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to let Kathryn go now, but everybody else, stick around. You know the drill, because we're going to go to a quick demonstration of some of the applications that Kathryn just referenced there in this EchoCast. And then you can all go to echo360.com for more episodes like this and more resources for you to transform your own learning.
Thank you, Kathryn Stewart, for sharing your perspective on GoReact and how it fits into the broader ecosystem. I'm David Kaplan, product expert here at Echo360, and today I'll show you how GoReact brings that balance of structure and flexibility that Kathryn highlighted to life, which makes feedback more scalable, insightful, and learner-centered than ever before. Let's start with a learner-submitted video. In this case, the subject is public speaking. Once uploaded, instructors can apply structured rubrics like the one you see here. These rubrics are highly prescriptive, with clearly defined criteria and scoring scales. That means instructors can deliver consistent, objective evaluations across large cohorts without sacrificing quality. But as Kathryn pointed out, structure doesn't mean rigidity. GoReact allows instructors to add open-ended comments within each rubric section. These fields invite nuance, reflection, and personalized coaching so that feedback feels natural, not mechanical. Instructors can also leave time-embedded comments, pinpointing specific moments in the video. This makes feedback contextual and actionable, perfect for helping learners connect feedback to performance. And then there's the AI assistant. It analyzes markers like engagement and vividness, providing learners with asynchronous self-assessment opportunities. Before an instructor even weighs in, learners can reflect on their own performance, guided by AI-generated insights. The AI flags areas for improvement, suggests alternative phrasing, and highlights strengths. It's not about replacing human feedback, it's about amplifying it. Behind the scenes, GoReact tracks filler words, pauses, and speaking pace, giving both instructors and learners data they can act on. As Kathryn said, it's rare to find a tool that's this structured and this flexible. Whether you're teaching public speaking, clinical skills, or classroom delivery, GoReact empowers instructors to scale authentic assessment while keeping feedback human, timely, and learner-centered, because learning changes for the good.